So, we're both trans. I think we're talking about relationships.
We are talking about relationships.
And trans things.
I have noticed in my many illustrious travels of this world that a lot of young people, specifically young LGBT people, quite specifically young trans people, often find themselves in really unhealthy relationships when they're very young.
I was in one.
I was also in one.
Do you want me to say it?
No, I will.
Okay.
We're a little...
Yeah.
There's gin involved in this video. Trans people, specifically young trans people, are often sent the message that they're unlovable, in a romantic sense specifically. Often by society, by the media, sometimes unfortunately by their own family and the people they're surrounded by in their own lives. I know I was sent the message that if I ever did end up identifying the way I now do, I would be unlovable, and from what I have observed, it's a really pervasive theme in the lives of a lot of trans people. And specifically at a young age when you're not sure of yourself enough yet to know why that's horseshit, you're just gonna end up staying with someone who often treats you terribly.
If you live in a small town, or even for me, just like a smaller city, where you feel like there's less people, and oftentimes there is less people, and therefore like less queer people, there's sort of this mentality of settling for whatever you can find, because you feel like there aren't any other options. And sometimes if you're in a really small town, there's just not at the moment. And it really sucks, because it is this sort of feeling of like, if this doesn't work, I'm never going to find somebody again.
And even for me living in a bigger city, I identify as bi or pansexual. I use the words interchangeably. I learned the word bi first when I was in high school. It's rare for me to fall in love with a male human. It happens once every few years, and then I'm like very in love and very committed. And I was very in love with a cis straight boy in high school, and I was like, ooh, he likes me too. Oh my god, this is the best good I'm ever gonna get. I thought that if it was over, I'd just be screwed.
First person I had a crush on while I identified as trans, we had like a I had not told her that I was into her, and we had a conversation about it, and she was like, wait, so like if somebody liked you, would that make her like a lesbian? And I went, fuck,
I hate that.
I will never find love. It's all over, which like didn't happen. Yes.
It's okay.
Wait, gotta make sure they can see the daddy.
You're daddy now. Not, oh god, no. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I don't have a daddy kink.
There you go, now it's established. To no daddy kinks.
To no daddy kinks.
2018.
Not to yuck anyone else's yum. Not my thing though.
We've talked about this a few times, that I feel like this is a very binary conversation, because actually I'd love to hear your input on like non-binary people's experience, that I feel like trans women tend to get over-sexualized a shit ton. Absolutely. And then trans men, what's the term? I've used the term sexually neutered. Socially neutered. Yeah. Trans women show up in porn in like really disgusting ways and awful ways, and like that's a whole like a problem that I have no experience with, and I am not at all like equating trans men's experiences to that. Although some people might have
the play I'm in, we literally talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm in this new play. I'm really stoked about it. There's no chance the playwright is watching this, but if you are, Chloe, I love you. My character is an AFAB non-binary person, and their best friend is an AMAB trans woman. So the two of them end up discussing porn, and my character's name is Blue. The play is called Growing Up Blue. Great. Woo! In Blue's room, late at night one night, they end up discussing porn, and Blue's like, I keep searching transgender, and like every time I do, I just get freaked out and turn off my computer, and like I don't know what to do. And then they start talking about how like trans women are over-sexualized in porn, and that was my experience as well, like researching being non-binary. Every time I would like search trans people, it would always be like something fetishistic or something just scary. But that bled into the conversations we were having around our relationship when we started dating. When we sort of talked about having sex, I was like, obviously I'm super game, and you were like, but just so you know, like, just so you know, like you gave me so many disclaimers, which like I thought was very endearing and sweet.
Just so you know, the claw is just so in my crotch.
I've been outright asked what genitals you have, and I'm like,
I've been asked about the size of my genitals, which is specific.
Someone asked me how you get hard. Specifically, that was the wording.
Yeah.
And unprompted from me, by the way. Never said anything about like, well, he does get hard. Great. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is like there's more than there was when I first had sex. But there's still very few resources on like the various ways that trans people can have sex. I remember kind of questioning like what is and isn't okay for me to do, which is totally bullshit. Like anything, as long as it's consensual and like
but
safe,
of course
it's okay
when
for
you're
you to do.
16 you're like, what's okay for my body?
Yeah, I'm like, what's normal? And like the person I was dating at the time and I were like, both of us were like, we don't know.
So the moral of this story is, young trans people, don't stick with your shitty partner, because you'll go to college or not. You'll just go into the world and you'll find love.
Yep.
And if you don't, you will someday.
True.
Or love yourself.
That too.
That too, though. Like, not mutually exclusive. Ooh, I just made that sound mutually exclusive. It's not. Love yourself, and also you'll find love if you want to. Because you're lovable, and you're beautiful, and you contribute so much to the world. You are so loved, and you will be so loved.
I'm a big fan of that being the theme of our video, when we mostly just shit talked cis people for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.